Welcome, everybody. It's FIU week, Military Appreciation Week here for the Blue Raiders. We This football team is excited to get back to work. We've had a 10-day layoff, since our last contest, and or will have had a 10-day layoff between our last contest and this upcoming game versus FIU. Um, we face a football team right now. It's 3-5. Well coached. Willie Simmons has done a really good job with this team. This team is physical in nature, and they do a good job running the football. They're balanced in terms of the run and pass. When you look at this group defensively, and this three down front that shimmies the four down in terms of the look is physical. In terms of what they like to do, they're big and stout up front, and they've got ball hawking linebackers led by Chauncey Jr. And then when you look at who they are in the secondary, man, they can get the ball out of the air. So this is going to be a great contest for us as we look to rebound, from our last contest. Again, excited about this opponent and what we got to do this week, which is play physical, play smart, and make sure we can stay ahead of the chains. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Keon Jenkins was preseason all-conference. Kind of talk about what you've seen from him on film this year. Is like a lot of teams, they've had their ups and downs as well.
Yeah, Keon has played well, in my opinion. I mean, when you watch him, I think it's like anything else. As the conference has changed, some of the things that you get from year one to year two in terms of and how you're learning and how you're morphing, whether it's the players around you or whether it's the scheme you're in, sort of changes. But I think when he's navigated to really find out what they do best. Like I said, man, he's a dual threat quarterback, and they've been balanced between the run and the pass. So when you look at him, he's got some weapons outside, and he's relied heavily on that run game to make sure that they can stay in front of the chains.
That being said, does he pose a unique challenge to your defense?
I think any running quarterback who has the ability to throw poses a threat because they make you play 11-man football, and we've seen that all year. That's not anything new for us. We've just had to adapt and adjust, and I think as we've gone on, we've gotten better. The challenge is this week, with them, they're gonna make you fit the run, but they've also got enough weapons to isolate you in the pass game. So we have to be smart. We got to tackle well. We have to recognize tricks and dummy and formations, and really more than anything else, just play smart.
Coach, got several former Blue Raiders coming back, whether it be Coach Simmons or Julius Pierce on the line up front. So what do you expect to see just out of those guys coming back to Floyd Stadium?
Look, I mean, like they're a football team, an opposing football team trying to get a win. I think whether they were here at some point in time or coached at some point in time, all that's history and water under the bridge. I think it's like for them, they're going to be focused on playing well, details of the job, and making sure. I'm sure Coach Simmons is making sure that his team is ready to play.
I know Julius got engaged down the Floyd Stadium turf last season.
Yeah.
Have you heard, is he married yet, or are they still planning a date?
I don't know, right? I mean, I'll get a chance to see Julius, in game day, and wish him the best. But like for us, like I said, I'm sure they're worried about what they got to do to prepare for this game, just like we're worried about what we got to do.
Looking at Jenkins and just kind of the mobility he offers, that's kind of been something that's gashed the defense at times this year. Is there anything that you guys are changing to prep for a mobile quarterback?
Yeah, build a wall, set an edge, track a hip. I mean, it doesn't change. I think, man, you've seen this defense get better as we've gone through the season. With that, and that's guys starting to trust one another and understanding how to do their job, right? I mean, any ball carrier has the ability to challenge leverage. They have the ability, man, to run through you and run around you. So. Again, when I say build a wall, set an edge, track a hip, I'm talking to everybody, not just one person. And last time I checked, 11 hats to the ball is a good thing.
3 games in October, in 8-point difference in 3 ball games. Your team is right there. What does it take to make that next step?
You right now, man, it's about playing within the margins. And our team continues to look at those margins, and there's areas of growth, man, where we got to grab. We got to grab like efficiency, offensively. We have to look at our explosive plays, man. We got to, same thing defensively, man. We haven't scored a defensive touchdown. I mean, you have to find opportunities where they're available. I think we've done a good job in progressing in certain areas. We've tried to take care of the football, better. I mean, we found ourselves shrinking the margins, penalty-wise as well. We just have to be smart, play smart.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Go Blue.
Morning.
Nick, kind of talk about heading down the home stretch.
Yep.
You got 4 games left, and you kind of see the end of the tunnel. Talk about what you want to make out of this final month.
I don't know. Just try to slow everything down and really just be in the present. Take it day by day. Enjoy every second of it. Enjoy being out on the practice field. Enjoy being with the guys in the locker room. Enjoy being in the weight room. Just capitalize on the time I have and the people I'm around, and just take it day by day. Don't get ahead of myself, and just do my best to enjoy it.
Facing FIU, this will be the 5th time, I guess, that you've
Yeah.
been against them, which is right out your back door where you grew up. Does it hold anything special? I guess, when you go back to your high school reunion one day, and a lot of folks may have gone to school there.
I mean, not necessarily. I think the cool part is I know a lot of those guys. A lot of talented guys on FIU who I've known for some years now. Some guys that I've grown up with. Some younger guys that I've seen grow up and kind of grow into themselves and become good players. So I think in that aspect, it's cool to for instance, Keywan. I've seen, Keywan grow up as a quarterback down in South Florida and everything he's done now the last few years. And it's been really cool to watch that. Another South Florida quarterback doing really good things. So I think, when, in that aspect, it's cool to see guys who you've grown up with and known for a while. You get to see, kind of where you used to dream about being. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's another football game. We're going to prepare to win. That's the same. I'm sure that's the same thing they're doing, and we're gonna bring our best game on Saturday, and obviously do everything we can to win that ball game.
And Nick, Chip kind of alluded to it a bit. Just a couple short years ago, you were here in this stadium getting your first, I believe it was first collegiate win against FIU. So, playing these Panthers one more time in Floyd Stadium, does that hold any additional emotional weight for you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about that when thinking back, but that feels forever ago. Back in 2021. We came in. It was a tough first start at Western, but we came back the following week. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, that was back in 2021, and they have a new team. I'm going to be playing different players than what they had back then. We have a ton of guys in this locker room that are hungry, that are working, that are fighting for a win each day, just trying to make themselves better. And we're just going to prepare, and we're going to go out there on Saturday ready to fight. And like I said, give it our all to put together a good game and win.
Absolutely. And you talk about fighting and getting back on track. The offense has struggled with the deep ball and consistency at times. What over this last stretch can you guys do to get back to where you want to be?
I think it's just an attention to detail. Obviously, I think people, when they watch the game, they want to say take shots. But at the same time, you have to understand you got to be able to take what the defense gives you. We got to be able to run the ball efficiently. We have to be good on first down. If we're in 1st and 15, or if we're in 2nd and 15 or in 2nd and 20, and you're in these, per se, long 3rd and long situations, you're not going to have the same ability to push the ball down the field as you'd like. So I think it goes back to, look, we got to be efficient on first down. We got to limit our penalties, which we've done a great job, I think a better job in doing. We got to protect the football, and then we have to earn the right, to call those shot plays, to let our guys on the outside go up and make plays. And then I have to do a good job of making sure I'm giving them a chance to make plays in the air. But it's kind of a group effort in terms of we have to be efficient, got to take care of the ball, and then I think you'll see the explosiveness. The explosiveness will come with that.
Looking around the conference, I believe you're 2nd in passing touchdowns and passing yards. Is that anything you're chasing in your last year?
No, I mean, not necessarily. I don't think I've ever really looked at stats as something I'm chasing. I think I would trade any stat ever for a win. So at the end of the day, I think I've said this, before the season started, I'm sure during the season, and I'll say it now, like, if Jaquel has to run the ball 40-something times and rushes for 300-something yards and we win the game, I'll be, I'm Jaquel's biggest fan, but I'll be his biggest fan that day too. So, however we're winning, however we're moving the ball forward and scoring points, I'm all for that. I think like you said, being high up in the conference in terms of those ranks is a testament to the guys around me. The boys up front blocking, the guys on the outside getting open, making plays, and obviously the backs out of the backfield have been really good all year.
FIU never had a shortage of athletes, and same goes again this year defensively. You're looking at their numbers. Johnny Chaney got 72 tackles already.
Yeah.
What is it about him that you see on film? Obviously a ball hawk to some degree.
I think just like when you watch good defensive players, I think the thing they all have in common is just like relentless pursuit to the football. You turn on the tape, the guys, they're running sideline to sideline, they're up and down the field, they're making their presence being felt in the run game, they cover well in the pass game, they're tracking their keys, they're never, rarely ever busting a coverage or in the wrong gap in the run game. I think you look at FIU's defense, and they have a lot of great players all over the field, whether it's guys who have been experienced, whether it's young guys, true freshmen who are making an impact at an early age. You look outside, like, Brian Blades has been doing it for a few years now. ETN came over, both guys I've known, and Keegan Davis on the defensive line as well. He's been doing it for a while. So they got guys with experience. They got guys who like you said, they'll run around the ball. They'll run to the ball. They run up and down the field, sideline to sideline, and they make plays. And so, and that's always going to, give offense a challenge. But we got to come ready to play, and we will be ready to play.
A couple of things happening outside of the football game this weekend. Obviously, salute to veterans. 43rd year that's gone on at Middle, and it's the longest event like that in any college football program in the country. Also, the 1965 team is coming back. The 1985 team is coming back. I know you guys want to put on as good a show possible for two undefeated teams coming back home.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think, first of all, the veterans game, anytime you get to honor our veterans, our country, the people who fight for us each day, both my grandfathers are veterans, and I think, anytime you get to honor, outstanding people like that is a special moment. They deserve it more than anyone. And then obviously, for the teams coming back, we want to be able to put on a good performance for them. They put in a lot of work here, and like I said, I think we've been putting in a lot of good work here too. No matter what people on the outside have to say, it doesn't matter what they have to say. We know what we're doing here. The people in this building are what matters, and obviously the people who have laid the foundation in years past can come back and hopefully be proud of what we have going on here.
Got a question on Zoom. Jake, you're up.
Hey, Nick. Jake Rose on Zoom here. Question for you about the offense. You guys have moved the ball a little bit better and scored a few more points in the last month, but still trying to kind of get over that hump, it seems like, a little bit offensively. When you go back and watch film, is there one or two things that stick out to you to where you say, hey, if we could just do X or Y, we're going to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it might be the boring answer, but I go back to it as can we be efficient on first down? Can we get ourselves in manageable third down situations to where we're doing a better job converting on third down? And then can we be better in the red zone? I think last few weeks we have been better in the red zone, our red zone opportunities, but at the same time, you see just times where we're shooting ourselves in the foot where we may be moving the ball good on a drive, and then all of a sudden, we get a penalty, kind of sets us back behind the chains, and it's hard to recover from that. But, like I said, I think there's always opportunities to where a 1st and 10 can turn into a 2nd and 4 rather than a 2nd and 12. And, constantly chasing that, constantly trying to put ourselves in the best position to make plays and let our guys do what they do best. So like I said, it's a group effort. I wouldn't say there's one single thing that is just going to be a fix it and all of a sudden, we're scoring 70 points a game. It's a group effort, and I think we understand that, and all of our guys are working hard to make sure that we're better as a unit.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else for Nick? Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
So,
Reggie, talk a little bit about just your journey this year, because you went from a guy who's, just kind of getting your feet wet to last week, 3 tackles for loss and really playing a big part of this defense.
Yeah, definitely. Being this my first year playing Division I football, I just listen to what my coaches tell me and just play fast, and that's how it worked.
Yeah. What about the older guys in particular along that defensive front? How how do they go about helping you do your job on a daily basis, not just in games, but going through practice, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. With DeMonte Smith being the oldest on the defensive line, he make everything easier for me and Anthony Bynum and Shaq. Those guys, they're younger than me, but they still do their job, and it makes everything easier for the game.
Reggie, I know we were sitting talking in the press box, and I was talking to Cecil Joyce, a longtime MTSU reporter, and he said that first half last week was some of the best tackling from the Blue Raiders he'd ever seen in one of their home games. So TFLs haven't been short for you guys. How have you guys just been playing so aggressive under Coach Stewart this year?
I feel like last week we knew our assignment and knew what they wanted to do, so I feel like we just wanted to prove, like the front seven, we wanted to prove more to point that this is what you're not going to do, and we just played hard and just went at it.
And last week you guys really teed off against running back Cam Cook. Got a similar situation this year with Keyshawn Owens coming in for FIU. Is kind of the defensive game plan similar going up against the top back in CUSA like that?
Yeah, he's a pretty good back, but we just want to play our game, and they knowing that they could do both, run or pass. So we get them behind the sticks, they're going to have to pass it. So.
Front seven's been one of the strongest units for this team all season, really. What's just clicked for you guys overall?
I feel like we playing as a team, working together, everybody doing their job, 1 out of 11. So we just got to build a wall, set it as track and hip, and it's going to keep on happening like that.
And then looking at their quarterback Jenkins, mobile guy, and that's kind of been an area where you guys have gotten gashed at times this year. I know you guys kind of have the build a wall, track hip, that thing
Yeah.
you and Coach Mason were talking about. But is there anything that's changed for running quarterbacks?
We just got to keep him in the pocket, make him make hard throws, get in his face. So we don't want to let him out. No escape lanes. That's it.